Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking at Acer Predator Helios 300 2021 model. But before we start, huge thanks belongs to you guys. We just hit 2000 subscribers, which is amazing, and it is only because of your amazing support and great tips. Also, if you are new on a channel and if you like my content, then please consider subscribing, hit the like button and also hit that bell so you can stay in touch. You can also take a look at my latest review for a Lenovo Legion 5 Pro, where I am comparing 3 Legion laptops and Asus Rog Strix G15. And also get ready for my upcoming review for a Asus Rog Strix Scar 15 with RTX 3060. Okay, so let's take a look at the specs. i7 10870H with RTX 3070, which is 100 watts, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 TB of SSD and 59 watt battery. Build quality is great on most parts. Acer is using the same chassis as the last year's models with some minor improvements. The laptop is in most parts made out of aluminum, especially the whole keyboard deck and the side panels. The front panel of the keyboard deck is made out of plastic, as well as the bottom of the laptop. The front panel of the display area is made out of plastic again and feels a bit cheaper than I would expect, and the backside is made out of aluminum. Display hinges are made out of plastic again, and I had zero problems with them, although one hand opening was smooth and easy with minimum display flex. On the backside, you can see a typical Predator logo with two curved lines, and also Predator logo has a glowing effect with a typical blue color. On top of that, we can see a two big air exhaust vents, and they are also made out of combination of plastic and aluminum. Let's take a look at the keyboard. First of all, I had to get used to it, but after a couple of days, typing was buttery smooth on it. It is a edge-to-edge keyboard type with a full numpad, which is always plus for me, and it has two dedicated buttons, one in the upper left corner, which is turbo mode for enabling full power and opening fans. And on the right side, at the top of the number pad, we have a Predator button which allows you to open Acer app, where you can change different profiles, change RGBs on the keyboard, as well as setting fan speeds and overclock your laptop. Like I said, typing on the keyboard was great, but it took some time for me to get used to it. I was concerned about it because last year's models had problems with some keys. You had to push them so hard to the deck to recognize your click, and some keys couldn't recognize it at all, which is a real bummer when you are playing games or you are typing a bit faster. But I had zero issues with the new 2021 model, so hopefully Acer managed to fix this problem in this generation. Touchpad is nice and big and recognize everything you need from it. Movement is smooth, gestures work fine, and hard clicks works to the middle of the touchpad. If we are talking about softer clicks, then you can click whenever you want and it recognize it without any problem. Now let's take a look at how many and which ports we have in this laptop. On the right side we have USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 port, USB-A 3.1 Gen 1 port, HDMI port, and mini display port. On the left side we have Kensington lock, Ethernet port, two USB-A 3.1 Gen 1 ports, and also audio combo jack. And on the back side of the laptop we have only a power delivery port with some additional air vents next to it. As you can see here, battery life was not as great. Predator died on his battery just about 4 hours of YouTube playback and browsing the web. Now let's take a look at the display. It has Full HD display with 240 Hz, 315 nits of brightness with 93% of sRGB. The display is okay, with decent color accuracy and with minimum backlight bleed. We have also here a 720p camera, which is always nice to have in a gaming laptop, although we have a quite thick upper and bottom panels. I can live with the upper panel because we have a webcam there, but I would like to see at least the lower panel a bit thinner. The panel was decent for playing games and watching some videos and movies. We have 240Hz of refresh rate and the display feels amazingly smooth not just in the Windows itself, but especially in the games. And it feels great even when your games are on the highest settings, so you can't really push those 240 FPS and it still feels amazing. And especially in competitive games, when you lower your settings, you can really benefit from 240Hz because you will have plenty of power from RTX 3070. And if you saw my reviews, then you know I prefer as much higher brightness as it gets. We have 350 nits here in this panel, and again, it was decent in normal light conditioning. But while I was playing Cyberpunk through the day when the sun was shining into my room, it was a bit tricky to spot things and roads in the game, mainly in darker areas. But this might be just a nitpicking for some of you, and you can still make your room a bit darker, so it's only up to your personal preferences. And if this doesn't bother you, then it's all good. Now let's discuss fan noise. And well, give me a minute or two because of these fans. The good news is that you can manually adjust the fan speed. In this review, however, I will tell you just the noise from the auto and turbo modes, mainly because each one of you might set the manual control of the fans differently. So, in auto mode, we were around 50 decibels, which are relatively average in gaming laptops, but for comparison my Legion 5 Pro has in performance mode 51 decibels. But then you enable turbo mode and then you might think you have playing on your desk. And honestly, 64 decibels are too much and I couldn't hear fire nor steps in the Apex Legends, and I had to put my headphones on my head so I could continue playing the game. On the other hand, temperature can go quite down because of these turbo modes, so it's again up to you, and if you can manage to find the right spot and manually adjust the right fan speed, then you might be good. Okay, and now let's take a look at a few benchmarks and games I tested on the Acer Predator Helios 300. More of these benchmarks and game tests will come in a couple of days. And here are some quick comparisons between Acer Predator Helios 300 2021 model against Lenovo Legion 5 Pro with RTX 3070. So what are my thoughts on the Acer Predator Helios 300 2021 model? Well, this laptop cost me 1,920 euros. It's a decent gaming laptop that is made from most parts with great materials. It's a shame that it's not all made from aluminium, because some of these plastic materials feels cheaper than I thought. I also hope that in the next generation series Acer will refresh the Helios line and we will see at least smaller bezels on top and mainly on the bottom of the laptop, and maybe a bit different or updated version of this gaming laptop. Other than that, I quite like this Predator. It has a great keyboard with no issues this time, decent touchpad, and the performance is not bad either with 100W RTX 3070. The shame is battery life, which can stand with a normal use for about 4 hours, and thermals might bump up in some games up to 90 or 92 degrees. So again, it's a decent gaming laptop, but I think that with the price 1920 euros you might find a better gaming laptop. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you have this Acer Predator Helios 300, let me know your thoughts on it. Hope you like this review, and if so, please subscribe, hit that like button and hit the bell so you won't miss any of my reviews, benchmarks or game tests. Thank you so much guys, stay safe and see you guys in the next video. Bye.